That was one hell of a season finale. As someone who has enjoyed Burning Kabaddi from beginning until now, even I didn't expect this finale to be that good. What's up, y'all? It's your man, Dad Dude, bringing you guys another video. I am giving out subscriptions down below, so if you like Burning Kabaddi, I review every episode, and I talk about other anime too. You don't want to miss anything, so go hit that button. Also, if you would, smash that thumbs up while you're down there. After feeling so bad for this guy while watching episode 11, my man Kyohei came back with a vengeance in this episode. And I gotta admit, I did not expect that. After watching how dejected and just demoralized he looked in episode 11, I didn't think he was gonna recover. I thought that this was gonna be like a lesson for him going forward in the future seasons, where he saw the huge gap in talent and ability between him and Sakura, and that was gonna be some kind of motivating factor for him. And then in the next season, we get to see him take like a bigger jump, and then he'll contribute more. But no, you gotta give the guy credit. He contributed in the same match. He had that moment against Sakura where he realized this guy's so much better than me, but he didn't let that stop him from trying. He looked at Tatsuya, saw the way Tatsuya refused to give up and the way Tatsuya refused to be intimidated, and he basically followed Tatsuya's lead. He saw that and was like, well, if Tatsuya's not going to be intimidated, I'm not going to be intimidated. And he came through for his team when it mattered, and I didn't think he was going to be able to do it. I thought Sakura was just that much better than everyone on Noka who were going to try to tackle him. But no, Kyohei saw an opening, he anticipated Sakura's spin, and he countered it, and he got the guy down by himself. You got to give Kyohei credit, where I especially got to give him credit because I didn't think he pulled that off, and he really came through. I was just so sure after episode 11 that he was pretty much going to be a non-factor for the rest of this match, and it was going to be either Tatsuya or Masato finding a way to save the day. But really, it was Kyohei that saved the day, because without Kyohei, Tatsuya would have never been able to go on that final raid and eventually win the match for Noka. Speaking of Tatsuya, talk about having a huge pair of balls. That guy never blinked in the face of what seemed insurmountable odds. He never gave up. He was always sure of his own abilities and his ability to carry his team. And besides Kyohei coming through in the clutch and tackling Sakura, Tatsuya is the one who really led the way for Noken in this entire match, really, because Masato was the team captain. But outside of his first or second raid when he got that cut on his forehead, Tatsuya is the one who really carried Noken through this whole match. Like I mentioned in the last episode, he went point for point with Sakura for the majority of the match and kept the difference in points relatively small. I think he kept it a 2-point gap until Masato was able to come back in. But Masato never actually got to go on a raid after that. He got tagged out by Sakura, and again, Tatsuya had to save the day. And he consistently did. He kept them in the match. He kept it close to the end. He allowed Masato his room to heal, come back in. And then when Masato got tagged back out, Tatsuya was the one who was like, yo, I got this. I am ready to take over for Masato. I mean, even though he isn't really ready to take over Masato, he thinks he is, and he believes in his own ability. And that gives him the confidence to not really be intimidated by someone like Sakura, who seems to be like next level good at Kabaddi. He is every bit as crafty and quick and almost everything that Masato is, but he is a lot bigger and stronger than Masato and can do things that Masato can't. So he seems like the next evolution of what Masato is, even though Tatsuya is eventually going to be the next evolution of what Masato is, given that Masato is training him and that one of his goals is to surpass Masato. But he looked at Sakura, saw Sakura had a raid where he got 7 points, and he never withered under the pressure. He always believed in his ability and always believed that he was going to be able to keep his team in the match. And in the end, when they really needed him, he fought and got the points they needed to win the match. And I just love that display of emotion that we got from Tatsuya at the end, where he's yelling and he's celebrating with the team. They tackle him to the ground. And that was, I think, the moment where Tatsuya really bought in to being a member of the Kabaddi team. Like before, I'm not saying he wasn't invested before, but they bring this up in the episode where he says it's not fun if you're not winning. When they finally got their first win, even though it was a practice match, they got a win. And I think Tatsuya needed that to really fully become invested in Kabaddi and the team. Burning Kabaddi have found a way to make a character who is a legit asshole, who is a jerk in every sense of the word, and made him likable. And that is by far my favorite thing about his character. With the exception of maybe one episode, I have thoroughly enjoyed Burning Kabaddi from beginning to end. This show, I gotta give credit to this show for managing to take a very obscure sport that I had never heard of and make it legitimately interesting. I enjoyed learning about the sport of Kabaddi and watching the characters in the show learn about the sport of Kabaddi and learning about it through them. It was just an all-around enjoyable experience. Yes, the animation quality wasn't great, but it was good enough to, I think, accurately convey what was going on, like during the matches. And so it was adequate to really give you a sense of the action, even though it wasn't great. Hopefully, if this show is as popular as I hope it is, because I really enjoy it, so I hope more people are watching it. But if it's popular enough, maybe in the second season the budget will be higher, but we can get some better animated scenes during the matches, and that would be great. But even if it's not, I just hope we get a second season, because I want to see more of this show. I want to see more of the characters. I want to see more of the matches. I want to see Noken take on more schools. And I want to see them advance to the tournament. I just want to see more of this show, because this show was just fun to watch. Yes, there are plenty of anime that are better than Burning Kabaddi. Even in this spring releases, there are anime that are better. But I can't think of any anime right now during the spring releases that are just more fun to watch. When it just comes to enjoyability and something being fun to watch, Burning Kabaddi is so good, and I am just hoping that we get a second season. I gotta give the show all the credit. I did not expect much from this show coming into it, but from just about the first episode, it had me. It got me in. In the beginning, it was a pretty good comedy, and then after that, when you really start getting into the sport of Kabaddi, it really just pulled me in from there, and it just kept me. I gotta give all the credit in the world to this show. That's all I have for you with this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go hit that thumbs up, and if you are so inclined, subscribe and share. It would help me out a lot. If you didn't like the video, or if you disagree with anything I said, let me know why in the comments. We could talk about it. I respond to almost everything. Also, feel free to follow and hit up my Twitter @DadDoAnime, and I'll see you guys in the next one.